Hey guys, my name is Forrest Shepard and I'm a member of Walla Walla Rotoract. While I've been at home quarantining down in California, I have had the opportunity to continue to do one of the hobbies that I've had growing up. Something that you're able to do social distancing is actually really a fun activity, is actually fossil collecting. So I've been able to make it out there every once in a while, and I thought I'd share with you a little bit about my fossil collecting and how I do it and some of the cool things that I've found. A lot of the time what you find out there is fossil shells. So this is an example of a rock from the beaches out there, and you can see there's a lot of shells in there. We're gonna actually take a trip out to the beach and we're gonna see what we can find. I'll show you where these kind of rocks are found. You can see there's tons of fossil shells inside of the rock. However, one of my favorite things to find is shark teeth. So this is an example of a shark tooth you can find out there. This is actually a great white shark tooth, Carcharodon carcharias, a pretty decently sized one. And shark teeth are definitely my favorite thing to find. So let's take a look at some of the fossils that I found and then head out there. Okay, so to start, I'm going to show you some of the drawers that I have cataloged various fossils in. We'll take a look at shark teeth. We'll take a look at different fossilized bones from dolphins, whales, and other animals. So let's take a look. Let's start right here in this drawer. So this drawer is definitely one of my favorite. This is where I keep a lot of the local shark teeth that I found. Most of these are great white shark teeth. So the most common shark tooth you find is great white shark teeth. This is the one I was just showing you. You can see the serrations on the side. That's the characteristic feature of great white shark teeth. And most of these are actually from one specific beach where you can find fossils in the cliff. So tons of different sizes and shapes of great white shark teeth from different positions in the mouth. My other favorite type of tooth to find is this type of tooth, a six-gill shark. And speaking of six-gill shark teeth, this is an example of a six-gill shark tooth. So this is a single shark tooth from a six-gill shark. You can tell it's a pretty nasty looking shark tooth. It almost looks like a jaw with several teeth in it, but there's actually one tooth that a six-gill shark would use kind of like a saw in a sawing motion to cut up their prey. They're more of scavengers, and they'll find decaying animals on the ocean floor, as opposed to something like a great white shark, which will be actually hunting down and killing prey. Same with mako sharks. This is a shark tooth that I found in Bakersfield, California. And also from Bakersfield, but something that I didn't find personally, is a tooth from Megalodon. So Megalodon was the largest shark that ever lived. This shark right here was at least 60 feet long. And that's a pretty big shark by today's standards, because most great whites are a maximum of a little over 20 feet. So that's a great white shark tooth. And that's a Megalodon shark tooth. Pretty big shark. And so another interesting thing we can observe from the fossils that we find is sometimes we'll find whale bones like this. This is a whale, part of a whale rib. The interesting thing is sometimes we can see traces of animals being preyed on. So this particular scratch right here was found on this whale vertebra when it was found. And based off of the structure of this scrape, scientists have determined that this is a feeding mark from a shark. So this is a shark tooth scrape mark. And most likely this is from a great white shark, very similar to this tooth. So great white shark most likely was either feeding on this animal, either it just bit this animal and killed it, or maybe it was feeding on this shark after it was dead and on the ocean floor. So some pretty interesting traces of animals being preyed on in the past that we can observe through fossils. Some of the things I like to do is create a little display out of shark teeth. So you can see I have various different species of sharks here. A lot of these are mako, different species of mako sharks. And you can see they all have different shapes. A lot of different types of shark teeth that you can find. These are tiger shark teeth. And they come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. So let's take a look at this stingray, because these are dental plates from a stingray. They would use these plates to crush. So let's go take a look at some other stingray dental plates. This drawer is where I keep a lot of my stingray dental plates. So you can see this characteristic shape, this crushing surface here, and this is kind of like the root of the tooth down here. Now this is a modern one. So this is from a stingray that lived today. This is the bat ray, and you can see that it's articulated with all of these different segments here. And this is the back. And this is the crushing side where they'll crush their food. And here's an example of a fossilized one. So I got this in a piece of rock, and then I covered it with some plaster to stabilize it. But you can see this beautifully preserved fossilized stingray dental plate, very similar to this right here. So as I mentioned, a lot of the fossils we can find are bones from whales and dolphins. And here's an example of some very similar animals, a whale and a dolphin. You can just see the size difference in some of these backbones. These are backbones or vertebrae. This is a dolphin vertebra, and you can see it's pretty complete and well preserved. This would be, the animal would be sitting upright like this. So this is the spine that you feel from the outside of your own body. You can feel that part of your vertebra, and then this would connect onto another vertebra, kind of like that, except it'd be another whale vertebra. So as you can see, the size difference between a whale and a dolphin is pretty big. So along with fossils of shells and dolphin vertebrae like these, and various marine fossils that I've collected over the years from the local areas around my home, I've also done some collecting as part of a research project in Wyoming where we collect dinosaur fossils. So for example, this here is from a raptor. This is a dromaeosaur tooth. And most of the fossils in this project go directly to the museum, but some of the less well preserved or less important fossils I can take home and take on loan for a little while. So this is from a dromaeosaur. This is a type of raptor. We also find, of course, herbivorous dinosaurs, plant-eater dinosaurs. This is a tooth from a triceratops. So this is from a triceratops, and you might be familiar with what this type of dinosaur looks like. The interesting thing, though, is not every dinosaur was as big and massive as a triceratops. Some dinosaurs are going to be much smaller. For example, a type of dinosaur the size of a chicken is right here under this microscope. So let's take a look at this fossil. This is a fossil from a troodon. So looking under the microscope, let's take a look at what we can see. And you can see the troodon fossil here. So the side with the bumps on it, that's going to be the serrated side that would be used for cutting into meat. And this is a very small dinosaur fossil. You can see just the size of it right here compared to my finger. So it's a pretty small fossil, but looks pretty cool up close nonetheless. All right, enough of seeing my fossil collection. Now let's actually go out and take a look and see what kind of fossils we can find out in the field. So let's go to the beach and see if we can find some of those fossil shell deposits. Maybe we can find some whale or dolphin bones and hopefully a shark tooth. So let's go see what we can find. All right guys, so we're finally out here at the beach. It's a beautiful morning. And let's go ahead and take a look at some of the rocks around here and see what we can find, because there's a lot of fallen rocks around here, and these cliffs all up here are chock full with a lot of fossil shells and sometimes shark teeth and whale bones. So let's take a look and see what we can find today. All right, so just starting up this way, taking a look at this rock here. So these rocks fall down from there, and you got to be careful that you're not here when they do fall. And what you can see is there's a lot of times these layers of really densely packed shells. And you can see these are pieces of clams, more clams. Right there is a really nice snail shell called a gastropod. And that specific shell is called an Asarius shell. Coming down here, you can see that these layers of shells are all around here. all around here. And different layers have different types of shells in them as well. So this one here has a little bit different types of shell than the other one. These shells are a little bit bigger, some bigger clams. Yeah, pretty cool shells. Let's take a look and see what else we can find. Absolutely beautiful day out here. Now taking a look at this cliff here, you can see that there are shell deposit layers all along here. See how thick that is? There's tons of shells jam-packed in there. And that's where sometimes you can find fossils, but it's layers like that that are further up the cliff and end up falling down like that, and that's where you can find a lot of fossils. So as we mentioned before, a lot of different layers have different types of shells and different types of fossils in them. So coming up this way, we know this type of layer here, you can see it's jam-packed with a lot of shells in that layer there. Now, the kind of rock that I'm standing on here, this one you can find a lot more bone fossils in. So for example, scanning around here, right here is actually a backbone from a whale. So this is the side that would connect to the other vertebra right here. It's kind of encased in rock there a little bit. But up here you can see some of the bone exposed. This is where the spinal cord would go through, and this is the top of the spine right here. So this would be the whale's back. And looking over here, we can also see that right here is a little piece of a dolphin vertebra coming out. So lots of different types of bones. We've even got a crab claw coming out here. And again, this rock is really hard, so I'm not even going to try to get them out. It's mostly just to look at. But a lot of cool fossils here. Alright guys, I hope that you enjoyed joining me on that fossil hunt as much as I enjoyed it. It was really nice to go out there to the beach. Hopefully you can get outside and get some fresh air, whether that's fossil collecting, just going for a walk or hike with your family while maintaining social distancing. But in the meanwhile, today we didn't find any shark teeth. We did see some dolphin and whale bones out there and some fossil shells. The only thing that I found that I ended up taking back was this bone right here. So this is actually a phalanx. That's the singular for phalanges, and phalanges are the bones that are found in your fingers. And this particular finger bone is from a whale. So that's something that we can find occasionally, is whale finger bones or flipper bones. And pretty cool fossil to find, but regardless, thanks for joining me today, and I hope that you survive quarantine and get some fresh air in the meanwhile.